Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. All right, so we're just going to dive right into it. As a psychologist, what do you think of the trend of adopting spirit doll? Is it normal or is it a symptom of mental disorder?
Okay, first, let me get things straight that adults playing dolls, adults playing toys are completely normal. Dolls or other toys, just like figurines, collectible car toys, can help adults reconnect with their inner child, the child in them. And the playing activity itself is associated with how we enjoy our time more consciously. So, playing activity with toys are completely normal. Favorite toys are also known as transitional objects. Those objects can help us regulate our emotions, and it helps us to regulate our emotions with external help with these objects. But just like we see in the children, if they feel bad, they tend to find their favorite dolls or hug their favorite pillows. Things like that are called transitional objects before a person can regulate their emotions from within. But if the playing activity starting to be irrational, not realistic, and not proportional, then we have to question ourselves. And then we get back to what is rational. Rational means logical, that you can explain what are you doing with the doll. You can explain the consequences of playing those dolls. And what is realistic? Realistic means that you can comprehend what you do with the dolls, what's going on, and acknowledge the sensation with your senses. Is it really happening, or it's just my imagination? And it should be proportional. What is proportional? Proportional means that playing the doll, the activity of playing those dolls, consumes fair amount of your time without bothering your main role as an individual. So, if as long as it's rational, as long as it's realistic, and as long as it's proportional, then it is considered as normal. Because we as adults also needs to play. But then we should be more careful if it started to be irrational, unrealistic, and not proportional.
All right. Reti, that's very interesting. But for the past week, we're seeing this explosion of, you could call it a phenomena, I guess. What's happening? Why is it suddenly being the talk of the week?
Yes, spirit dolls, just like you mentioned earlier, they have been existing before it's trending, even though it's from our ancient times. But the fact that many famous faces, celebrities endorsing these activities, it might contribute to the point where it is nowadays. And these famous people, the celebrity, the influencers, endorse those activities with the positive impact they perceive happen to them. Whether it is true or not, we cannot tell. It might be true that they feel good or better after possessing those dolls, or not.
Right.
Who knows, right? But it's not because of the dolls that they feel good. It's about they feel good about themselves after possessing those objects. And those objects can be anything. You know, when you have new home, you start to feel better about your life because you accomplished something and you start to, well, manage things better. When you have new job, then you start to feel better and have better self-esteem. Things like that happen, right? So it's not about that specific objects, but about the feeling that you feel better about yourself.
It seems like this phenomenon is becoming, it's getting a lot of buzz because the dolls, the spirit dolls, are shaped like human babies. That's why it's kind of, people are kind of concerned. And what is the, you mentioned about, acting rational or logical, but, people sometimes associate this with, I don't know, sometimes, there are couples who are not able to have babies, and they resort to these baby-like dolls, that they're customized and really very, very finely made, not like these. I mean, these are not the ones that I'm talking about, but they're finally made to look exactly like a human baby. Or is that behavior rational and logical?
Okay. Now, what is rational and logical once again? Nowadays, there are so many lookalike dolls that really similar to human babies, right? But if you treat those dolls as if it's alive, you provide real foods, you provide them with real water, warm water for them to take a bath, you provide them with real drinks. Is it logical? Then we have to question ourselves when we do that.
That's something that children do, right?
You believe that, right? But even the children sometimes do it with fake drinks, fake foods, not real ones, right? So it's logical with their point of view. But now we have this adult point of view, then we should be able to question ourselves. And after that, then we should also ask ourselves whether this doll have the ability to change my life, than to bring a better condition to my life. Is it this doll, or is my belief towards myself that makes my life feels better after possessing these dolls? Did you get it? I hope I'm clear on that.
It's still a gray area, but I think we have more questions. Go ahead, Yanni.
So next question is there any psychological impact of adopting a spirit doll? Because I mean, just to begin with, you don't say you're buying a doll, you're adopting a doll. So that's kind of, it's in your mind, like different thoughts and how you think about the doll. So is there any psychological impact?
Okay, I cannot generalize this, but for the person who's adopting these dolls, they might feel positive changes in themselves. Again, not because of the possession of those dolls, because we cannot prove that scientifically, but because they have this transitional object that help them regulate their emotion better and feel better about themselves. And in this case, you might find any regular object, as I said earlier. It can be your favorite song. It can be your comfort. Important is asking yourself, what is the reason you have the urge to adopt those dolls? And that question you need to address, not only with buying those dolls, but maybe with long period of evaluating yourself. Maybe you have some issues going on inside your heart or within yourself. If possessing these dolls goes irrational, unrealistic, or not proportional, then the impact to your mental health would be bad, because you start to blend the reality and imagination. You cannot separate them anymore. It might lead to further symptoms of unhealthy conditions, both psychologically and mentally to you. Because then you can perceive anything, blend between reality and imagination.
Wow, that is still a gray area we're talking about here. But, right, I have this question, Reti. So we're talking about dolls and other objects and the line of rationality there. But apparently the phenomenon, what's happening now, is people believe that there is something in the doll. Spirit, they say. That's why they become spirit dolls. How, in your point of view, where is that in the rationality line?
Okay. I think that's not my capability to answer whether it is valid or realistic or true. Those dolls possess the spirit, because me myself is not the one. I don't have any dolls either, so I cannot prove any of those questions. But again, because psychology has a scientific background behind it, as long as it's not observable, as long as it is not measurable, then we cannot conclude as it is real. Because I am speaking with the background of science. But maybe if we speak in the name of other point of view, you might have different answer.
Right.
Okay, that's a very good question, Mbah Wibi. I think we're going to talk about that further. But Reti, I have a question regarding, when a person, we're talking, going back to rational and logical, and when a person proportional, and when a person owns or adopted a spirit doll, would that also affect the person's? Could that also affect the person's ability to engage and interact with real humans?
Okay, that's cannot be concluded or generalized until we saw the impact in a larger scale. Do you know what I mean? If that person, it might be if they adults more than the persons. We can say that. In assessing abnormality, we speak about whether this person can still socialize normally, right? So we can assess if it's still normal or it slightly becomes abnormal. When we assess something, whether it's normal or abnormal, we talk about 4 Ds. Deviance, distress, dysfunction, and danger. So, are we still socially normal after possessing these dolls? Then we ask about 4D. First, deviant. Are we possessing this doll? It makes us become blurry in differentiating imaginations and reality. We started hearing voices that's not there. We started to see things that we don't see. That's deviant. Whether we can ask for validation from our surroundings, whether we still do it rationally, realistic or not. And secondly, distress. Whether possessing these dolls cause stress not only for us but also for our surroundings. If I am separated from this doll, am I feeling stressed? If yes, then you have to ask yourself, what's happened in me so I feel stressed without possession of this object?
All right.
Deviance and distress. Third one is dysfunction. If I don't have this doll anymore, it makes me less functioning than I was before. Then we have to question ourselves. Am I sure to have these dolls? Because why can't I function without this doll? It's just an object. And the first one is danger. Whether the existence of this doll danger ourselves and our surroundings. So, in assessing whether are we going to be different in socializing with real people, we have to assess 4 Ds. Deviance, distress, dysfunction, and dangers.
All right. Well, hey, thank you very much, Reti, for your insights. There's a lot of great things that on this, but thank you so much for covering it from a scientific perspective. That's right. Thanks. Like, what's that? We need to go break.
Yeah.
I heard that too.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
Thank you so much, Reti.
Thank you, Reti, for the explanations.